My path to Major League Rugby came off the back end of playing a bit of footy in Japan. And obviously, from my perspective, I just wanted to kind of experience new things and do things that, a lot of people who had the same upbringing as me couldn't, really experience growing up. So I got the opportunity to play some rugby in a widely expanding competition in America, and so as soon as I found out that it was a beautiful place like Utah, I just grabbed the opportunity with both hands. Not really, to be honest, because obviously the Major League Rugby is it's a new competition, so I never really imagined playing rugby in the States. But as soon as the ball started rolling with this new competition, and the opportunity to compete at a high level was still there in the American continent, it just gave us a motivation to be like, yeah, I wouldn't mind playing in a competition like that now. So my head's around it now. Why the Utah Warriors specifically? So long story short, I got a phone call from Chris, and obviously Chris has international experience, and a lot of the coaches here have both international playing experience and coaching experience. And having that high caliber of coaching availability for a player, I think is one of the most important resources you can get in your own development being young. So Chris obviously playing for Samoa, and me being Samoan provided a little bit more incentive too. And then obviously last year we had Dwayne, and then all those situations changed. I just learned to love the States, so I'm back for another season. Who was my biggest support in my journey to the Major League Rugby? I've got to take it back a few years back when I was in school, and rugby in general. I think my biggest support would have been my mum, waking me up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to representative training on days where I just wanted to sleep and then not go to training at all. She was my biggest motivator, and she was the one who always pushed me forward, especially in my situation where you can ask anyone in my family, no one would have expected me to pursue the dream of playing footy as a career. So it's got to be my mum, hands down, as my biggest motivator for playing rugby. The rugby community, for me, especially living in a place overseas without your family, is very important. I think not only the fans having an understanding of the sacrifices that a lot of players make to pursue the dream of playing rugby, but also being surrounded by other teammates who have made the same sacrifices, because it can be hard being away from family, from relationships, and from loved ones for a long period of time. Getting that support from fans, and especially our teammates here at the Warriors, provides that much more comfort and clears the brain to be able to perform at our best as Orange Bank. Two things no one really knows about me. I didn't really play rugby until later on. You wouldn't think it because I'm a front rower, but I actually grew up playing basketball, and that was my passion, my first love in sport. Second thing no one really knows about me is whether I did it at my own free will or my mum forced me to do it. I'll leave that up to your imagination, but when I was 14, my mum got me into musical theatre for 1 year. Yeah, kind of wish I didn't share that one, eh? My style of play, I've always enjoyed playing on the wide edges, and I actually came back my first game last year. Although I am a traditional front rower, they played me at back row, so I've always prided myself as being a front rower who plays a bit like a back rower, playing in wider channels, showcasing catch pass, a little bit of offload and footwork here and there. I think those skills is just something that I've always taken pride on, and I like to do a little bit of those extras of footwork and offloading while I play as well. So. Funny story, I actually, as soon as I came home last year, I just did a bit of running by myself. Met one of my good mates who plays professional rugby league in Australia, and just the two of us were just doing conditioning pretty much every single day. We did a bit of a charity fundraiser for one of our other mates who had medulloblastoma, he had brain cancer. And so we did a little 40k run fundraiser for him under the space of 4 hours, and just getting a bit creative with what kind of running we were supposed to do, because obviously as a footy athlete you're not supposed to be running long distance generally, but we just did a lot of fun stuff and a lot of running and conditioning, and obviously stayed fit going to the gym as well. So that's how I kept fit during the off season. Yeah, the fundraiser went really well. It was kind of, anyone can kind of share off any ideas and say that they can do X, Y, and Z in the comfort of their own seats. But as soon as we got the ball rolling, that's when all the complications came. Had to get legislations from the government and hire out event centres and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, all in all, turned out really well. Under the COVID restrictions, we were able to have a good support for a few of the lads running this 100 laps of an athletics track under the space of 4 hours, and I think we were able to raise just a bit over 10k in about 3 or 4 weeks for the bro. So he's now recovered, and he's now doing a bit of coaching over there at the Cronulla Sharks. So that was something that was pretty special for us.
I'm Malolo, and I'm here for the nation.